Okay, next we're going to start talking about the lit review, which is certainly a little easier for most people to think about than all the statistics and research that's involved in this. So, the first thing we really need to get at is selecting a topic. The best suggestion that I can make is to pick something that you're really interested in, because what's going to happen, hopefully, is that you are going to live with this topic for a while, at least all the way through your research paper. The lit review that you write for this course is not the final lit review. It's the beginning of one that you can use for your file paper that you're going to turn in for your master's degree. Some people decide after doing this that it's not exactly what they were hoping for. So you don't have to stick with it all the way through. But one of the advantages of it is if you can pick something that you're really interested in, as you do more or take more courses, you can select more and more articles to put into your lit review and gradually build it up over a long period of time. That's kind of up to you. The one that and I'm going to give you several examples. Most lit reviews for this course tend to run about 10 to 12 pages and have about 15 references. When you select your topic, you have to remember that this is an investigation. You're not setting out to prove anything. If you set out to prove something, you've already biased the way that you look at it. You're investigating what we think the truth is in regard to your topic. And it's important that you start with a general topic, but you narrow down to a very specific question. The advice I'll give you is advice that was given to me, is you can save the world later, but you've got to save yourself right now. So it's important that you pick something that is reasonable in length and that is doable, something that is not going to be completely impossible to finish within a reasonable amount of time. This lit review, the entire file paper tends to be about 20 to 25 pages. Most of them tend to be things where people have some kind of experiment, or they do a survey where they find out what people's opinions of something are. It needs to be narrowed down as much as possible. I'm going to get into this finding information in another video because it's a little bit more extensive, and I don't want to burn up all my 10 minutes just on this one part. But the reason that your topic has to be specific is because it's going to help you find the research articles that you're going to need for your paper. The best place is in the academic search part in the library, and as I said, I'm going to make another video about how to go through that and give you some examples of how to do a search. The most important thing that you can find are the primary sources. When you're finding research that other people have done related to your topic, you want to find the actual source that it originates from. If you can't find anything from that, then you can start looking at other literature review articles. The reason that this is important is if you depend upon somebody else for their interpretation of other research findings, it may be that they did it wrong. But you're making an assumption that they know what they're doing. So it's very important that you try to find as many primary sources as possible. The articles that we use in these need to be no more than 5 to 8 years old. So as you look at when these articles are done, if you're going past the year 2000, then you're going too far back. The exception to that is if it is a landmark or a classic study. That we will make some exceptions to that, or if it is the basis of everything behind what you're doing. For example, a lot of leadership information has to do with Sergio Vani. He was a landmark study in leadership styles. So there is one exception to that, and that's what it is. Pick something that's reasonable. As I said, you've got to save yourself. The whole purpose of this is to learn how to do research. What you find is secondary to everything else. Pick something that's doable. Don't make it so big that it's going to take you forever to to get this done. When you take applied research, most people are able to go ahead and to create their methodology, collect the data, process the data, and write up the results all in a 15-week semester. So when we say doable, that's what we mean. And while I'm on that, it's important for you to realize that you're not to collect any kind of data other than literature review data until you have the HSRC, and that comes up in applied research. If you go out and collect data as a student from Midwestern without Midwestern's permission to do that, you're breaking the rules. There's a way that you have to go about doing that. As I said, your goal is to learn a research process and complete it from beginning to end over 2 courses. Save the world later, save yourself now. You want to learn what's acceptable research, what is unacceptable research. You want to be able to read these articles and determine what is good research and what is bad research. All this outweighs what you actually learn in your investigation. Another way to put this is what somebody told me when I wrote my dissertation. Nobody cares what you think until the end. And that sounds a little harsh, but there's a lot of truth to it, because everything that you're writing right now is building a case for why your research topic is important. You're helping us to understand the different variables in your research case, why it's important, why it's a good topic to investigate. And the only way to do that is to look at what other people have done. When you write this lit review, it's important that you're, as I said, are building a case for what is known about this topic. This does not need to be a review of researchers. And the biggest mistake that I see people make is getting into a routine of saying this researcher says this researcher says that, and you're just synthesizing, or not synthesizing, but reporting what other people have found. And it's just one paragraph after another of what other people have done. What you're supposed to be doing as a researcher and writing your lit review is comparing and contrasting the findings from other people. So as you start to build a case for your research question, you're able to determine or provide information about what's good and what's not good. Research studies are more valuable than opinions. If you read articles that are in magazines or something like that about teaching, if it is not research-based, it's an opinion. And opinions are not worth much. They're not worth much more than the paper they're written on. You want research articles. If they don't have any way of providing evidence for what they think, it's just not as good. You want to make a case for why your topic is valuable. Be specific. Tell what is known about your topic. If you have parts to your question, I'm going to jump to another video, so I'm going to pause right here and make another one. So bear with me.